and I'm back at reading A Course in Miracles. This book has been challenging for me for many reasons. However, I do keep coming back to it because there's a depth in here, and every time I look at it again, something deeper happens, and it keeps pulling me back. It could be that my pace is much slower than the one day that actually it asks for, and I've decided to just go with the flow and revisit old pages, or just take my time with each one of these lessons. Now today I'll be reading lesson 26. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. It took me some time to do this, even though I have done it before. I think everything here is in context of what really is going on in my life, and something new comes up. For instance, it's just looking at how I'm thinking, the process of my thoughts, and how these thoughts are being interpreted continuously by myself. Which self is interpreting, of course, is something we will keep looking at throughout the course, throughout our practice, potentially throughout our lives. And the lesson asks, I will simply read it out. It is surely obvious that if you can be attacked, you're not invulnerable. You see attack as a real threat. That is because you believe that you can really attack. In a way, it is if I believe I can harm or impact somebody else, then somewhere there is an understanding, a reciprocity, that somebody else or something else, or I just simply can be attacked in return, almost as an equal and opposite reaction. And it's saying you can look at it from a point of view of fear, as in I will do something, within brackets is I will do something wrong and then something wrong will happen to me. However, the whole point perhaps is that we look at it from a point of view of every time I choose to do something else other than what I believe to be wrong or self-centered action, wouldn't even call it wrong, more the act of doing something for purely personal gain. If I weren't to focus so much on the personal gain aspect of it, then my act itself would open up, and in similar manner, somewhere in my psyche there is a belief that similar action is occurring outside of me too. For instance, someone else also might be acting not purely out of self-interest. This is how I understand this. So, second paragraph. Your attack thoughts will be projected. You will fear attack. If you fear attack, you must believe that you're not invulnerable. Attack thoughts therefore make you vulnerable in your own mind. Attack thoughts therefore make you vulnerable in your own mind, which is where the attack thoughts are. I think this is kind of key. It's what we are projecting and what we are believing, and that is what is causing us that fear of vulnerability. Attack thoughts and invulnerability cannot be accepted together. You cannot attack and still be invulnerable. They contradict each other. The idea for today introduces the thought that you always attack yourself. If attacked thoughts must entail the belief that you are vulnerable, their effect is to weaken you in your own eyes. Thus, they have attacked your perception of yourself. And because you believe in them, you can no longer believe in yourself. I have to read this again. So there is, what I understand is that the only person attacking me is my thoughts, which is true, because at this moment, if I'm afraid of how my recording or video will be perceived, this is just a thought in my head, because in reality there is no one in my room right now. So the only space where an attack can come from is really within my mind. So I'm attacking a perception of myself by believing the negative thoughts. And this is what we are going to work with today. Today's idea will help you understand that vulnerability or invulnerability is the result of your own thoughts. Nothing except your thoughts can attack you. Nothing except your thoughts can make you think you're vulnerable. Now we are talking about not physical fear and safety. We are talking about psychological fear and the need and desire for psychological safety. And this is something that I have worked with throughout my practice. And it's a slow unfolding, and it's a going back and forth. You work with something, it opens up, it continuously opens up, and you reach a point where you feel like you're free, you've just been liberated. And then bam, after a while you come across something else, and it seems like you're starting from scratch again. But it cannot be, can it? Because in a way, every day is a new day. On the other hand, every time I look at something again, for instance, I was angry 10 years ago, I was angry 5 years ago, how I handled it, I'm angry, and how I deal with that feeling of anger, the thought of anger now, is widely different. And it might appear even to myself that I have digressed, I have regressed, and I'm back to where I started. On the other hand, when I'm quieter and the anger, the fear, or even sometimes the sadness and grief subsides, and if I were to be very, very honest with myself, I'm not the same person that I was 5, 10 years ago, even 10 minutes ago perhaps, when I started recording. I was more concerned about how I sounded when I started recording, and I'm a lot more comfortable now. And I think we just keep working at it, and we keep looking at it again and again, because why not? It's already inside, so it's totally worth our attention.